How's it doing, folks, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Unboxing video. In today's video, we'll be tackling some not-so-happy spirits in Phantom Rage. Now, Phantom Rage's retail release was November 6th of 2020, and this set supports a lot of different archetypes, but primarily Phantom Knights, Raid Raptors, and actually a crossover between those two archetypes, the UA and FA archetypes, and also a crossover between those two, and then support for a new theme based around fusion and summoning. There also are sprinklings and sprucings of dual avatars, tri brigades, and even Mayutins. Now, Phantom Raid is a 100 card set. And of course, I'm happy about this set because it also includes, like in our summoners, our video on the Charmer structure deck, the prismatic secret rare card of Hita, the fire charmer, is actually in this set, so I'm hoping to be able to pull her. Now this is even going to be even different still because I only actually normally have two boxes. I only have one box of this, so there's actually only I only have maybe in each side two chances total in the box to be able to get her. Once again, I also have my card checklist here as well, and there are, but unlike other sets, there's actually only a few things I want in this, and most of them are commons. And the only two cards that I really want, and one is a secret rare, who is the guy on the box art, which is Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon. Now remember that card for a future episode, viewers. And then also Infernoble Knight Oliver, who I'll speak a little bit more on later in the video. But without further ado, let's hop right in and try and calm the souls of these rowdy spirits. Right. Pile 1 and pile 2. Let's do our first one, and then we will start doing multi-ups like we normally do. So now this is a 9-card set, so we can go back to our regular format of taking the top 4 cards off and then having the rare one at the back here. So we have Dual Avatar Return. So first dual avatar card. We have Charge into a Dark World, so getting a little bit more Dark World support, so that's always nice. I was always a fan of the Dark World series of cards. And then their kind of the gimmick was each of the Dark World monsters was based on a color. So for example, Glod, Wu Lord of Dark World, was based on, I guess, the color. Yeah, I suppose the color gold, or like there was beige, there was orange, there was Silva, who was based on silver, and then Rainbow, but it was Reighn and then Beau, but it stood for rainbow, so he encompassed all the colors. So that was kind of a little cool um, linguistic style turn that they did there. Then we have Jack in the Hand, which is funny. This card kind of reminds me of the Jack series of personas from the Persona series, as in like there's like Jack Frost, and then there's the Jack that is the guy with the pumpkin head. So that's actually really good. I'm finding a lot of Persona stuff in a Yu-Gi-Oh for some reason, which is super interesting because like I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but I also love Persona as well. Okay, bomb, awesome. This is actually one, even though it's a common, this is one of the cards that I wanted, which was, if you remember back to our Spirit Charmer structure deck video, the upgraded form of Ryu was actually missing, and we didn't get the one of Jacobite either, which is also in the set. This is one of the cards I want along with the upgrade to Jacobite as well. So this is Awakening of the Possessed Ryu. which reads, it's a dragon effect. You can special summon this card from your hand or deck by sending one face-up spellcaster monster and one face-up level 4 or lower wind monster you control to the graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of Awakening of the Possessor with Senryu once per turn. When this card is special summoned by its effect, you can return one card your opponent controls to the hand. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Spirit Wind Art card or one Possessed Spell Trap card from your deck to your hand. Awesome. Then we get Infernity Conjurer. We get Hinazumi Hanabi. We get Pure Finesse, the Tactical Trapper. We get Raider's Unbreakable Mind. And for our first rare card of the set, I kind of cheating into Link Monster, it is Prank Kids Meow Meow Moo. It's a rock Link Monster, which requires one level 4 or lower Prank Kids monster. So it's not a generic Link monster. You can only Link summon Prank Kids Meow Meow Moo once per turn. If a Prank Kids monster you control would tribute itself to activate its effect during your opponent's turn, you can banish this card you control from your graveyard instead. You can only use this effect of Prank Kids Meow Meow Moo once per turn. Awesome. So let's start doing multi-up. So I'll do 5. And we'll get our little train rolling. Now, speaking of trains, funny enough, a really good friend of mine, he is extremely into trains. Like, trains is his thing. Trains are his jam. So what I actually did, and I'm hoping he doesn't see this video before I give it to him, is I have actually sought out every single train Yu-Gi-Oh card that exists. I'm going to put it into a little mural for him, and I'm going to give it to him. And I'm really looking forward to seeing his reaction to that. So that's going to be really cool in and of itself. And actually, that's a good question, duelist. What is your favorite archetype of cards or type of cards that has been something that exists in the real world that has been brought into the fantasy world of Yu-Gi-Oh? Let me know down in the comment section. I'm interested to see what those are. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, yep. New card smell. 2, 3, 4. I have a really good friend, Sam, and she shares my passion of smelling new books. So I'm sure she can appreciate me smelling new cards. All right. So we have Tri-Brigade Rugal the Silver Sheller. We have a Virtual World Kieran Lili. We have a Personal My Utenson card with My Uten Clash. We have 1 or 8. Oh, interesting. So one of the mini cards, and I'm actually going to link him down in the description. I actually there was a YouTuber and I sought out. He put out some really good videos on the lore of Yu-Gi-Oh and the dual monsters, and I actually reached out to him on Twitter and I asked if I could reference him and link his videos in my video, and he agreed. So I was super happy about that. So I'll definitely link him in the description. Now this card actually shows 2 forms of a monster known as Impachi, which looks a lot like Mokujin from the Tekken series, if there's any fighting game fans out there. Now, this may be a new card in his kind of story, or within, because there is not a definitive ending, but there is a for now ending in his Duel Monsters story. So this may actually be something that is in the middle of his story. And since he's tied with monsters like Gaga Gigo, which is also part of the Gigabyte line, and Marauding Captain and Free the Matchless General, and they all have kind of instances in with the different dimension stuff as well, it does make sense that Impachi could fight another version of himself. So this is kind of like an interesting take, an interesting card that could be part of his story. So that's actually really cool. Then we got Arcana reading, which is more support for the Arcana, one of the many Arcana archetype, one of the many archetypes that actually takes its inspiration from tarot reading, which is really cool. Now, it was really cool how I can't remember. I don't know his English name because I watched Yu-Gi-Oh GX in Japanese, but I couldn't stand it in English, as you all already know. But Sayo, his deck was based around tarot. Now he actually played his deck like tarot, like doing a tarot card reading, which was a really cool attribute that he had. And the effects of his cards were actually how he played. If he played them like now, how tarot the actual Arcana cards work is that you flip a coin, and depending on heads or tails, you get the good effect or the bad effect. Now, normally the bad effect is always tails. The good effect is always the heads effect is always good, tails effect is always bad, except for two specific cards. I believe one of them is the Fool. I can't remember what the other card is off the top of my head. Oh yeah, no, actually, I think the Fool is the only TGC card that has you get the good effect on tails, and then there's the Hangman, which hasn't been made into a TGC card yet, which I'm hoping that they do. Actually, I'm hoping that they just make a bunch of they kind of cover at least all the major Arcana cards as Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because that would be really really cool as well. I have a really good friend that's really into tarot as well. And she does some tarot readings on sometimes in her free time, which is really cool as well. And then the way it worked in the anime is the card would appear and it would spin, and then the opponent has to say stop, and if it stopped, depending on how it stopped upside down, which is how actual tarot readings work, or right side up, the tarot reading would be different. And then that would also determine the effect of how it played out in the actual anime as well. So that was a really cool aspect of the show that they had with the tarot cards too. But anyway, I'm rambling on my Yu-Gi-Oh knowledge, so I'm just going to continue because we know how I like to ramble. We know how I like to take my time opening cards and kind of blaze through these. Then we have Dual Avatar Compact. We have a Virtual World Shell Jaja, or maybe Yaya. I'm not sure how it might be pronounced. We have Geonator Transverser. And our second rare card. Oh yes! This is one of the two cards that have an actual rarity that I wanted. And as I mentioned to you in the beginning of the episode, I would come back to this, and I was gonna talk about it later, but it worked out better that I actually pulled the card. So let me read the card, and then I'll get into why I want on this card. This kind of plays into some of the kind of it definitely plays into lore that I'm definitely interested in. So we have Inferno like Captain Oliver, which is a level 5 synchro warrior monster, which is generic. It requires one tuner and one non-tuner monster. When this card declares an attack while equipped, you can target one face-up card on the field, destroy it. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can target one warrior monster you control. Special summon this card from your graveyard as a tuner. And if you do, equip that monster you control to this card as an equipped spell that gives it 500 attack. You can only use this effect of Infernoble Knight Captain Oliver once per turn. So the reason why I'm so happy that I got this card is that there's a series of cards called the Noble Knights, and then there's a sub-series that's called the Infernoble Knights. Now, the Noble Knights are specifically based upon Arthurian legends, which is one of the aspects of popular culture that I am extremely into. I love everything Arthurian, like legends. I love the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, There's a show called Merlin that I'm super into, which was amazing. Now the Infra Noble Knights specifically, they specifically tie to, I believe, it's not necessarily Arthurian legends, but it's like a French aspect of mostly French. Like, so, for example, if anyone's familiar with like the Chanson de Roland, that like those type of medieval heroes that typically come from French culture and French folklore, whereas Arthurian legend is more English folklore. So it's the same as like the whole like England France split type thing as well. Now that's another thing. Like, I'm looking to get all of the Noble Knights and the Infra Noble Knights. Now some of them are secret rares. Luckily, Oliver was a super rare, and Phantom Rage is one of the sets where Konami had done the shift of eliminating rares. So it's definitely made it easier for me to pull him. So I'm really happy about that too. So yeah, I'm really happy that I pulled this card. This is one of the two major rare cards that I wanted. Now I need to try and get, if I can get the secret rare Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon, then I will have basically gotten guaranteed to get every card that I wanted from this set. So yes, I'm very happy with that. And then on to the next. So another charge into the Dark World. Magical Broker. Tri-Brigade Nerval. Tri-Brigade Standoff. For our first Raid Raptor Hell, oh sorry, not Hell, Heal Eagle. Tri-Brigade Oath. Infernity Conjurer, excuse me, sorry. Another Hanazumi Hanabi, and a Virtual World Hime Nyan Nyan, which reads, to go along with our Tutu from our opening of Blazing Vortex. A Psychic level 3 wind monster, which reads, if a level 3 monster or monsters is our normal or special summon to your field while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card as a tuner, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, for the rest of this turn, you can only special summon level or rank 3 or higher monsters. If this card is banished, you can target one of your other banished cards, shuffle it into the deck. You can only use each effect of Virtual World Hime Nyan Nyan once per turn. Nice. It's a really nice holographic card there. By the Virtual World archetype. We have our first Phantom Knights card here. The Phantom Knights of Stained Greaves. Then we have Charge into a Dark Roll again. We have Mutant Fusion. Mutant Clash. We have Gluttonous Retulfin Greetus. We have Mutant GB88. Arcana Reading. Dual Combat. And an ultra rare Dogmatica Ashian. A level 8 light spellcaster monster whose effect is, if a fusion, synchro, exceeds, or link monster or monsters is are sent to the graveyard except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned from the hand, you can target one Dogmatica card in your graveyard, except Dogmatica Ashian. Add it to your hand. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can make all Dogmatica monsters you currently control gain 500 attack. You can only use each effect of Dogmatica Ashian once per turn. Nice. It's really cool. Our first Ultra. Then we have Mutant Fusion. Rookie for Hire. Jack in the Hand. A UA Player Manager. For Finesse the Tactical Trapper. Raider's Unbreakable Mind. Another Gluttonous Dolphin. Mutant GB88. And we get a Gizmek Makami the Ferocious Fanged Fortress. Nice. a machine effect, whose effect is also one of the unique cards that has a um, attack and defense that has a 50 instead of the baseline zeros. The effect is, while 6 or more of your cards are banished, you can normal summon this card without tributing. Oh, nice. You can only use each of the following effects of Gizmek Makami, the Ferocious Fang Fortress, once per turn. If this card is normal special summoned, you can discard one monster, add one monster whose attack equals its own defense from your deck to your hand, except the Gizmek Makami, the Ferocious Fang Fortress. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can shuffle 6 of your banished cards into the deck. Nice. So it allows you to kind of return your cards that are banished to potentially use them again, and they go back in your deck. So that's a really good recycling feature as well. Last of the 6. Ooh, Penguin Brave. One of the new Penguin support monsters, and I'm really happy that I pulled this as well because I do like. There's a lot of new Penguin support. Actually, so there's a new set coming out in the OGC over in Japan soon, which actually has some of the cards. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 specific penguins in this card of Penguin Brave, and they're actually separating them and making them each their own cards. So that's going to be really cool as well. And they're also bringing out some more support for the penguin archetype, which is going to be cool too. So I'm definitely looking forward to that when it comes out here in the TGC in North America. So it's an Aqua Synchro effect, level 6, who's requires 1 tutor and 1 tutor non-tutor monster, so it is generic. And its effect is, your opponent cannot target face-down defenseless monsters you control with card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Penguin Brave once per turn. If this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon 1 penguin monster from your deck in face-down defense position. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can flip 1 face-down defense position water monster you control face up. So a lot of that archetype revolves around flipping face down and flipping them back face up to get their effects to activate, because I believe a lot of them are also flip effect monsters too. So that's actually a really cool, unique thing, kind of breathing new life into flip effect monsters. I'm happy I was able to pull that. Manager, World Shell Jaja, Janea Transverser, UA Libero Spiker, UA Man the Match, and Mutant Mist, which is a level 8 spellcaster effect wind monster whose effect is, cannot be special summoned except with the effect of a mutant card. Your opponent cannot target this card with spell effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Mutant Mist once per turn. When your opponent activates a trap card or effect, quick effect, you can banish 1 card from your hand or field, draw 2 cards. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target one of your banished mutant monsters, add it to your hand. It's a really cool looking card. Like, the mutants are really unique looking set. It almost looks like every card in this series just looks like an evolution of the previous card, which is a really cool effect that they did as well. Yeah, Konami never ceases to amaze and impress with their artwork, at least for me. Now on to another pile of 6. Get the ball rolling. Yeah, another archetype that kind of dabbles with the flip effect, or flipping face down and flipping back face up to get their effect to clock again, are the worm monsters that we will be going over in a future video, and they are housed within the Hidden Arsenal sets. And another unique fact about the worm monsters is that I believe there is 1 worm card, worm monster card, for every letter in the alphabet. So there are at least 26 worm monster cards. I found that really cool, and I just was looking through my cards one day, and I noticed, because I had them in, I just happened to have these cards in order of their ID number, so to speak, and I noticed that so the first card had a letter name starting with A, second card had another letter saying it with B, and then I think it was like Apocalypse, Bart, no, like I can't remember the B's one name, and then Cartos. And I kept looking, and it was like, oh, these names actually follow like the alphabet. So I thought that was a really cool thing that they kind of snuck in there that people may not have noticed. So that was a really cool thing as well. And then, of course, the final card is the Worm Zero, which is their, I guess I would assume one of their boss monsters. So that was really cool as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Dude, yeah, I currently have my nephew visiting and one of my friends, and we've been putting on some. It's called the Latitunese, and I just have those songs stuck in my head. Like me counting these cards in French made me remember one of those songs. But it is nice to have a baby around. Sometimes it just kind of puts you in as a real like a feel good mood. So that's I'm really happy that they're here. All right, so let's bounce into these. So we have a virtual world gate Singlong, I believe is how it's pronounced. Another Tri-Brigade Rugula Silver Sheller. Jabbing Panda. Another Penguin Brave. Yes, okay, we got Awakening of the Possessive uh, Gag Gigabite. So the Gigabyte Gaga Gigo Go Gaga Gigo Giga Gago Gigo Go Go Power Rangers, like let's just get out there. But they all are from the same line and same story of monsters, especially when it comes to the lore surrounding this card as well. So that's really, really cool. And actually, he has one of the longest, if not actually, no, I think the he has the probably the second longest Duel Monsters lore arc, only beaten out by the World Chalice arc, which is extremely long, and I don't think it's actually over either. So that's something that's very interesting as well. So his effect is you can special summon this card from your hand or deck by sending one face up spellcaster monster and one face up level 4 or lower water monster you control to the graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of Awakening of the Possessed Gigobite once per turn. When this card is special summoned, by its effect, you can send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Then each player draws a card. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Spiritual Water Art a card or one Possessed Spell Trap card from your deck to your hand. So a very similar effect to a Ryu, except it focuses more on water monsters and removal from the hand, which is really cool. And it's also random removal, which is even better because it has to it makes your opponent choose, so you're not specifically targeting it, which is nice. Happy I pulled him. Then we have Banquet of Millions, which is featuring the Eater of Millions card, who is rumored to be one of the major players in causing the different dimension mischief that has gone on in the Duel Monsters world. So Banquet of Millions reads, banish any number of cards from your extra deck face down, and banish the same number of random face down cards from your opponent's extra deck face up until the end phase. You can only activate one Banquet of Millions per turn. Now, who's actually in on this card? There are 3 cards that are visible. I know one is a vanilla fusion monster. I believe it's Rose Wolf, maybe? And then there's one Exceeds monster. And then there's one Link monster and one Synchro monster. Now, the only reason why I'm looking at that is because on the actual card of Eater of Millions, it has a lot of the cards of the monsters that are also shown on Return of a Different Dimension. So that's why the link has been made in Yu-Gi-Oh lore that the Eater of Millions might have some nonsense or shenanigans going on, causing the whole business with the different dimension potentially. So I'm happy to pull that as well. Getting right into it, we have Mutant Blast, another Gluttonous Dolphin, and we have UA Hyper Stadium, which is a field spell card. And its effect is this is always treated as an FA card. When this card is activated, you can add one UA or FA monster from your deck to your hand, or add one UA Stadium from your graveyard to your hand. You can reveal one field spell in your hand and pay 1,000 life points. You can normal summon one UA or FA monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. You can only activate one UA Hyper Stadium per turn. Nice. Alright. Another Ryu. Cupid 4. Tri Brigade Revolt. Standoff. UA Libero Spiker. Man of the Match. Another Awakening Possessed Kagigo Bite. Banquet of Millions. And Tri Brigade Karas. Level 2 Beast effect, whose effect is you can discard one other beast, beast warrior, or winged beast monster, special summon this card from your hand. You can banish any number of beast, beast warrior, and or winged beast monsters in your graveyard. Special summon beast, beast warrior, or winged beast link monsters from your extra deck with link rating equal to the number banished. Also, you can only use beast, beast warrior, or winged beast monsters as link material. Let's see how many times I say beast. For the rest of this turn, you can only use each effect of Tri Brigade Karagas once per turn. So its attribute is beast, beast warrior, winged beast, beast warrior, winged beast, beast warrior, winged beast, beast warrior, winged beast. So I think it was said like 14 times. No, can't be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it was said 14 times. Jeez, that's a lot of beasts. All right. So we have Pearlius Empress of Blossoms. We have Tri Brigade Revolts. Free range monsters. Infernity Wildcat. Rated mine. UA Locker Room. Dual Avatar Defeating Evil. Ooh. Brigand the Glory Dragon, a level 8 fusion monster. Part of the Fallen of Abaz archetype. Whose effect is requires Fallen of Elbaz and one level 8 or higher monster. Cannot be destroyed by battle. While you control this fusion summon card, your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with monster effects. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add to your hand or special summon one Tri Brigade monster or one Fallen of Elbaz from your deck. You can only use this effect of Brigand the Glory Dragon once per turn. So this is our second ultra rare of the box. Nice. Phantom Knights of the Stained Greaves, Rookie Fur Hire, Free Range Monsters, Virtual Great King Long, Might and Blast. So I'm going to start getting repeats now. And Perfect Sync Aeon. Nice. Nice little contrast between the two red and blue heroes there. It's a field effect card. And it reads, when this card is activated, you can add one dual avatar monster from your deck to your hand. If you control a dual avatar effect monster, you can special summon one dual avatar spirit token, Warrior Light level 2, attack and defense 0. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except fusion monsters. You can only use this effect of Perfect Sync Aeon once per turn. You can only activate one Perfect Sync Aeon per turn. Nice. So we have Infinity Suppression. 8, 9, we got both of them in the same pack. That's good. And Dogmatism. And we got Mutant Beast, which is another upgraded form of that virus-looking thing. This is really cool. It's a beast, and its effect is cannot be special summoned except with the effect of a mutant card. Your opponent cannot target this card with monster effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Mutant Beast once per turn. When your opponent activates a spell or quick effect, you can banish one card from your hand or field. Negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target one of your banished mutant traps. Add it to your hand. Oops, sorry, I kind of had that too close to the camera there. Nice. And the last of the first of 12. Ooh, we get that means no, there are two secrets. I still have a chance. So we have Tri Brigade Shirag the Ominous Omen. Interesting looking card. Kind of has a black wing look to him. So Link Wing Beast, which requires two Beast Warrior, of course, or Wing Beast monsters. If this card is special summoned, or if another Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast monster is special summoned, hope you guys are keeping count there on how many times I say Beast. You can banish one card on the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one, of course, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast monster from your deck to your hand, whose level is less than or equal to the number of your banished Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast monsters. You can only use each effect of Tri Brigade Shirag the Ominous Omen once per turn. Nice. Alright, let's hope I can get the Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon in the second pile. And 6. So now cards are probably going to be repeating, so I will do all of the rare cards as a mini deck, and I'll bring all the commons together in a bigger deck and just blaze right on through them. So there's a rare deck. Ooh, Infernity Paranoia, that's a new card. We haven't seen yet. We haven't gotten my Mutant Cry either. Nice. Or my Mutant Expansion. Ooh, Exceed Imports. That was one card that I actually really wanted. Yeah, I was hoping I would pull this card. Of course, just to make another reference to Persona, the Mahama reminds me of one of the instant death spells that you can get in Persona, which is really cool as well. So, a nice little nod to Persona there. I didn't have that either. Clash. And that wraps up the commons. Now let's see what we get here. In typical draw fashion Yu-Gi-Oh style. First card is Myutin Arsenal. Nice, another Myutin card. And then now this one is not a beast, it's a machine. Beast Machines. Shout out to anyone who remembers that show and enjoyed it. Love that show. Cannot be special summoned except with the effect of a Myutin card. Your opponent cannot target this card with trap effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Myutin Arsenal once per turn. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish one card from your hand or field, then target one monster on the field. Banish it. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target one of your banished Myutin spells and add it to your hand. Nice. Card number 2 is Raid Raptor Strangle Lanius. Our first foil Raid Raptor card. It's a winged beast whose effect is if you control a dark monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except dark monsters. If you control an Exceed monster with a dark Exceed monster's material, you can target one level 4 or lower Raid Raptor monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, but its effects are negated. You can only use each effect of Raid Raptor Strangle Lanius once per turn. Nice. Card number 3 is Raid Raptor's Phantom Knight's Claw. One of the crossover cards between the Raid Raptors and the Phantom Knights. It's a counter trap, which reads, when a monster effect is activated, detach one material from your Dark Exceed monster. Negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Then, if the detached material was the Phantom Knights, Raid Raptor, or Exceed Dragon card, one Raid Raptor Exceed monster you control gains attack equal to that destroyed monster's original attack. You can only activate one Raid Raptor's Phantom Knight Claw per turn. Nice. Really cool artwork as well. Actually, I think that is. I think the actual monster depicted in this card is the Strangle Lelanius. So that's pretty cool too. Card number 4 is Virtual World Phoenix Fan, which is our third of our 4 ultra rares. It's a rank 6 worm effect Exceed monster, which requires 2 level 6 monsters, whose effect is once per turn, you can detach 2 materials from this card. Then target one face-up card your opponent controls and one card in either graveyard. Banish them. If this Exceed summon card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster, or by an opponent's card effect while in its own monster zone, you can special summon 2 virtual world monsters with the same type and attributes as each other from your deck. You can only use this effect of Virtual World Phoenix Fan once per turn. Nice. Next card, Arc Rebellion Exceeds. No. Joyous Melthies. It's a rank 2 Exceed monster, Beast, which requires 2 level 2 Beast monsters. And the effect is, you can detach one material from this card card. Your Melty monsters can attack directly this turn. During your opponent's turn, quick effect. You can activate one Beast Exceed monster. Sorry, you can target one Beast Exceed monster you control. Return that monster to the extra deck. Then you can special summon one level 2 or lower beast monster from your graveyard, up to the number of materials that monster had. You can only use this effect of Joyous Melfies once per turn. A cute little card there with some woodland animals. And our sixth and final card is Conductor of Nephthys. So this is a level 2 spellcaster ritual monster whose effect is you can ritual summon this card with Rebirth of Nephthys. If this card is ritual summoned, you can special summon one Nephthys ritual monster from your hand or deck except Conductor of Nephthys. This is treated as a ritual summon. If this card is tributed or destroyed by a Nephthys card effect, you can activate this effect. During the next standby phase, destroy up to 3 Nephthys cards except ritual monsters. One each from your hand, deck, and field. You can only use each effect of Conductor of Nephthys once per turn. So this is part of a new archetype of cards based upon the Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys, which is an older OG card. Back in like early 2000s, I believe it came out. So yeah, it's a cool nod to that kind of breathing new life, rebirthing the Phoenix, one could say, archetype. So that's really cool. Now on to our last 6 packs. 6 more tries to get the secret rare Arc Rebellion Exceed Dragon. Now we're guaranteed to get a secret rare in these 6 because I haven't pulled a secret rare from this side of 12 yet. So our chances are guaranteed we'll get a secret rare. I'm not necessarily guaranteed to get Arc Rebellion Exceeds, but I'm hoping, I'm believing in the heart of the cards that they won't let me down. So what I'm going to do this time to add some suspense is I'm going to throw a common in between every rare to spice it up a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. 1, 2. And I'll quickly skim through the commons. And that seems to be that. Alright, so let's see what we got for the rares. So our first rare is Virtual World Roshi Lao. Is that you, Master Roshi? No, just kidding. A Psychic Tuner effect, whose effect is if this card is in your hand, you can target one Virtual World card you control. Send one Virtual World card from a different type, monster, spell, or trap, from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon this card. Then you can special summon one virtual world monster from your graveyard in defense position, with a different name than the card sent to the graveyard, but negate its effects. For the rest of this turn, you can only special summon level or rank 3 or higher monsters. You can only use this effect of Virtual World Roshi Lao Lao once per turn. Ooh, out of frame again, my bad. Nice. Our next card is Infernity Doom Archfiend. Level 6 Dark Fiend Synchro Effect monster, who is generic, so it requires one tuner and one non-tuner monster. Once per turn, you can target one face-up card on the field. Negate its effects until the end of this turn. Then, if you have no cards in your hand, you can destroy it. While you have no cards in your hand, if this card battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage this card inflicts to your opponent is doubled. A dark synchro monster that was summoned using this card as material can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. Nice. So some more Infernity support. Next is Raider's Wing. Level 4 Wing Beast monster. Actually, this might be the card that was in that card that supported the Rusty Knights and the Raid Raptors. So its effect is, this card is always treated... No, sorry, not Rusty Knights, Phantom Knights. I was mixing up with the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardiche, which is one of their cards. If this card... So this card is always treated as a Phantom Knights and Raid Raptor card. If this card in your hand is in your hand or graveyard, you can detach one material from your Dark Exceed monster. Special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect of Raider's Wing once per turn. An Exceed monster whose original attribute is Dark and has this card as material gains this effect. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, so it gives it some protection if it is material and Dark Exceed monster, so that's really cool. Nice. Oh, and that was our 4th and final Ultra Rare. Oh, nice, awesome. Whew. Okay, let's see what we get. We get a Virtual World City Kowloon, whose effect is place one Virtual World Gate card from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone. Then you can apply any of the following effects in sequence based on the number of Virtual World Gate cards you control. 2 or more. All Virtual World monsters you control gain 200 attack this turn. 3 or more. Send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. And 4 or more. Special summon up to 4 Virtual World monsters with different names from your extra deck. You can only activate one Virtual World City coolon per turn. Nice. 2 cards left. And one of them is a secret rare. Let's see what we get. So we get Rock Band Xeno Guitar, which is a level 4 Earth Rock effect monster, whose effect is, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one rock monster in your graveyard, except Rock Band Xeno Guitar. Add it to your hand, then place one card from your hand on top of the deck. If this card is banished from the field or graveyard, you can send one rock monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of Rock Band Xeno Guitar once per turn. I could make a Rock Band joke, but I don't have any off the top of my head right now. But cool nonetheless. Our final card. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Final card. Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Let's get it, boys. Let's actually go. Oh my goodness. That was amazing. Final card we pull. Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon. Let's get it. Heart of the cards. Hashtag believe in the heart of the cards. Let's go. Alright. So the Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon effect is, it's a level 5 Dark Dragon, which requires 3 level 5 monsters. The effect is, this Exceed Summon card cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can detach one material from this card. This card gains attack equal to the total original attack of all other monsters on the field. Then, if this card has a Dark Exceed monster as material, negate the effects of all other face-up monsters on the field. After this effect resolves, you cannot declare attacks with other monsters for the rest of this turn. You can only use this effect of Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon once per turn. Let's go. Probably, I would say, one of, if not the best box opening I've done so far. I got Captain Roland. I know I got all the commons that I wanted, but the 2 specific rare cards that I wanted Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon, a secret rare. So I literally, because there are 10 secret rares, so I had a 1/5 chance of pulling it, and the heart of the cards pulled through for me, duelists. It came through. I will never not believe in the heart of the cards ever again after today. But anyway, that's the end of my video on Phantom Rage. It looks like we have quelled the phantoms with this final pull of Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon. Thank you for joining me, my fellow duelists out there. Thank you for your viewership. Hopefully you'll join me in my next episode. And until then, as we've proven today, believe in the heart of the cards. Thank you for joining me again. Till next time, have a good morning, afternoon, or night. See ya.